with psychedelics, as you said, you can get certain insights. And such insights might also come through meditation. But that idea actually starts from the point of view that these insights are very important, which they are not. The purpose of meditation is not to lead you to certain insights. It happens, it can be useful, it can feel like, oh, I really learned something. But that's really not what it's about. Meditation is about becoming. It's about changing. It's about, letting go of things. And so psychedelics will not bring that, or only in a very limited way. The emphasis there is too much on like what we are experiencing in meditation, and then what we are thinking about that experience, and then the insight that we believe to have found there through that experience. And that is all a sidetracking. That is actually all not what it's about. We should stop thinking when meditating. We should stop, this desire for insight. The real knowing, it will come after. Afterwards, you will experience suddenly, that there is a knowing coming which is new. And that is because something has been released. Your energy has become more light. And from this more subtle energy, suddenly you are able to see something which before you were unable to see or properly see or fully feel to be true. And so that is the main way. Not whatever happens while you are doing your meditation. That is okay. Sometimes some insight there will come which is valuable. I'm not saying that it cannot come. I'm not saying even that if you really feel that is valuable and very, let's say, related to where you are and the problems you are dealing with, that you cannot maybe write it down or something like that. So that is part of it, but it's definitely not the main thing we are after. It is this same addiction that we all have somehow, to thinking as a way to control things. This is an extension of that. When we try to use our meditation for contemplation, actually, then we are still in that same game. Letting go is a totally different game. Becoming more light is a totally different game. And okay. But, things happen. We move forward anyhow. And in that way, I think meditation is to be preferred over psychedelics. I mean, everybody can do what they want. That is always there, this freedom of choice. But one should not confuse these two things. With psychedelics, we get some kind of different experience. And that may teach us something, and that may be valuable. But meditation goes really quite beyond that. Meditation means that your energy is moving up. And okay, from this higher point you get some different insights also, yes. But the main thing is your energy is moving up. Moving up means it becomes more light, less dense. So automatically that means a detachment. Automatically that means a letting go. As we move up through the chakras, first we let go of the earth element, we let go of the water element, fire element, etc. That is what meditation really is about. And so that is what then brings the change that we so much desire, which allows us then to also in life be able to live like a yogi or like a Buddha or like, an enlightened being, because we have really become more light. We have really let go of certain attachments. And so in that way, you cannot even compare the two. Let's say traveling to a different country and seeing how people do things there compared to your own country, it will also bring some insights which can be very helpful. You know? So I would say what there is to learn from psychedelics is quite limited, and the main thing we can learn there in a way is one, that our mind functions independently of ourselves. That is something interesting to learn there, I would say, because then the identification with mind becomes less. And two, we can also learn there that there are different aspects to this reality. No? Because the psychedelics to some degree will show us a different way of looking at this reality. And like in a dream, when then everything seems real but we know it is still a dream, then also when we are under this influence, this will kind of give us an insight that yes, there are different ways of looking, let's say. No? But that's about, as far as it goes, I think. I mean, yes, some memories can come maybe, which explains something about our own personal psychology, maybe some memories from childhood, maybe memories maybe also from past lives, things like that. They can come out of the subconscious, but that does not mean that they are cleaned away. If we compare it to what happens there with these same memories in deep meditation. In deep meditation, when really looking at these memories from the point of view of the self, then they can be dissolved. In use of psychedelics, I have seen, and I think those are also the cases that come to me for healing, I have seen how then people have encountered some of these memories and being totally unable to deal with it, and came out of that trance or whatever, state, very disturbed, very frightened maybe, or something like that. And so then, what's the use? So we are all free to enjoy this place the way we want, but we are not free of the consequences of what we are doing. So the consequences of fooling around with your mind are sometimes big, and I repeat, if it is done in a way that belongs to a certain tradition and is in that way well managed, I think it can bring you something good. But if it is done in an amateuristic way, and now with all those new psychedelics that are coming on the market out of some obscure labs, there is a risk involved, that is clear. With psychedelics, usually the risk is not so much addiction as it is with many other drugs, but the risk of some kind of mental instability is definitely there. And it's like, driving and traveling, and they also have a risk. So it's up to you. It may be fun, but we should not confuse it with what meditation can truly bring us. But I also cannot say that I know so much about it or have done so much myself. Yes, in my youth, quite a lot of LSD and psilocybin mushrooms and things like that. Also the mushrooms related to Christmas, the red ones with the white dots. So yeah, I've done that. I mean, if you hear, like, for example, Ram Dass, I mean, he's no more now, but that's not so long ago. He was very well known, to be a professor in university who experimented with LSD and many other psychedelics, and who, well, yeah, was putting this forward as a way to learn certain things and deal with certain emotional problems, maybe with depression and things like that. And I know there are still people who are doing that, and there is a lot of, like, let's say, plant medicine in that way coming also from like South America and places like that. So I really cannot say that this is all wrong or something. No? That is really not what I'm saying. And especially not if it comes out of a particular tradition. You know, the advantage of something coming out of a particular tradition is that its effects are known. And it is also known how to manage these effects so that they lead to a positive result. So if people have done something for 1,000 years, then, yeah, we can, trust that. But that's unfortunately not really what is happening. Too much fooling around is happening. Same with healing also. I get more and more people who come here with a problem, and when I dig into it, then actually what happened is they tried some kind of healing without, being properly trained there. Many people. It's amazing. Yeah. Yeah. Whether we use advanced Kundalini techniques or whether we use Ayahuasca or some psychedelics, there is always a risk that we are just not ready for the experience that we are going to get. And not being ready comes in many different ways. It can be about the body and the nadis, the energy system, but it can also very much be about our attachments and our fears and our struggles. We may see them more clearly by doing these things, but are we ready for that? That is a question. And I do sometimes have to treat people after such experiences because they have become destabilized. So that is, I think, anyhow a given. Some people become destabilized by these things. Some people seem to have some good effects or some insights which come. So one has to be ready, and I think the main thing there that this ayahuasca and all these things, they belong to a certain tradition, which is a spiritual tradition, which means there is the guidance of a shaman, and if that is a real shaman, then I think you're quite alright, because he is trained to deal with whatever will come. But the problem there is that these days many people call themselves shamans, and they are not really properly trained. And then, people have these experiences and they're actually without any real help. So then if something goes wrong, so careful. I've had my share of psychedelics when I was a lot younger, but I learned some things from there, sure. So I'm not saying it was not useful, but I've stopped that a long time ago. And definitely once deeper meditation started happening, then these things became totally uninteresting to me, actually. There's no desire at all to go there, because after the first deeper meditation, I immediately realized that this was a very different kind of thing and much more valuable. And then we also have to see that these psychedelics can also somewhat undo whatever advancement we have made in our meditation. That I have also seen. Not in myself, but in other people. So definitely now, for me, it is even by my teacher in Nepal totally forbidden, because of the work that I do. Because it would make me much too vulnerable. So I don't think that a sip of alcohol is that much, or to smoke some weed or something like that. This is all not bringing you in an altered state of consciousness, no? Okay, maybe being like totally drunk, that is different. Like where you don't know anymore who you are and where you are and all these things, no? Then you are in a kind of samadhi. That can again bring a change, which, yes, may cost you dearly in terms of what you have built up, in terms of like subtle chemicals and abilities, also in terms of meditation.